Hi everyone, how are you? Today I have an interesting topic for you. Do you know what is our topic today? Our topic is review writing. What do we review? We will review film and we will also know how to review a book. What is a review? In front of you there is an image. What do you see? What are you thinking when you see that image? Well, I can see there's one person who is saying thumbs up and another person is showing his thumbs down. Yes, you guessed it correct. In a book review, either the book is very nice and it gives a thumbs up, or the book is not nice and it gets a thumbs down. And let me tell you, in your day-to-day life use of technology, you are using this thumbnail, especially in YouTube videos or anywhere. You can use this thumbnail showing your happiness or showing your disagreement. So well, let us go into the introduction of our review section. So our unit 9 is review writing, film review, book review. What is a review? A review is a short critical assessment of a book. Well, many people think review means only reviewing a book, reviewing a film. Let me tell you, you can also review a product or a service. How many of you have not gone and searched in the YouTube about the review of your cell phone or your mobile phone? Many people have gone to this websites to check how this new product works. They see the reviews. So please don't think that a review is only limited to some section. It is related on a vast scale. But as per our syllabus, our concentration is only on two topics, mainly film review and book review. Well, this is my first session and we are completely dealing with film review. Before I go ahead with the film review, I want to tell you what is a review in general. Let me start. A review, it gives readers a quick idea about the book, film, etc. Here etc. means any product or service also. It conveys the reviewer's opinion about it and helps the reader make up your mind. Let me tell you, I know a person who wanted to buy a cell phone. He went to a browsing site, or you can say he went and surfed on the internet to check what are the best phones that are available. And also, after knowing the top 3 phones, he made sure that he saw the reviews on video in a YouTube, so that he will buy the best cell phone that was available at that time. There is no standard formula for writing reviews, but there are certain important elements of a well-written review. A review should follow a facts first, interpretation last principle. What do you mean by facts first, interpretation last? That means you have to tell what is correct, what is true, not a biased one. That means your whole intention should not be My review should be seen by many people and they should like my review. That's not what you are looking for. You should always think about the person who is reading your review or watching your review. You should think like this: my reviewer should be benefited, and once he reads my review, he should be the most benefited person in the world. That's what it means when you say facts first, interpretation last principle. A review should inform, describe, analyze, and evaluate. Let me give you an example. Suppose you want to convey something on your status. Maybe you want to convey a happy thing, or maybe you want to convey anything. First, what you will do, you will sit down and think what you want to put in that status. You will take a review of it, and what you should write as a information at the bottom of your status, and what you want to describe about this status which you want to keep. And you go and analyze what emojis to use, what expressions to use, and at last, once before you click that send status picture or a video, you will evaluate 2 to 3 times. Then when you post that status in that picture, it is a successful post. It's the same thing here. Your review should inform, should describe, analyze, and evaluate, so that the person who sees your review or watches your review will decide whether to go for that product or not go for that product, whether to go for that film or not go for that film. Now, when you are doing these things, you should not shy away from making judgments. I have seen some people who will say, I will not judge others, and others should take care of their own business. I have also seen people who are continuously after others, judging the way they sit and stand and talk. But here our main motto is, when you're making some judgments, you are informing, describing, analyzing, and evaluating. So reviews need not shy away from making judgments, for we routinely judge every day in our daily lives, from toothpaste we use to the leaders we elect, and take decisions on the basis of these judgments. In fact, we should take a stance in a review and make our criteria known, so that those who disagree with our assessments understand the basis of our judgments. So whenever I tell the people whom I teach or to my team members, I tell them, please talk. I'm not telling always to talk, but make sure at an appropriate time you can tell them, see, this is what I feel, this is what I don't feel that you should do. So you need to always stand for yourself. If you yourself will not respect yourself, how will others will respect you? Next, very important aspect of your opinion is it should be supported. Let me tell you, people who give their judgments based on their support system, which is an evidence, they have reasons to tell you this product is not nice. They have evidence to tell you this product is nice. So the most important part that plays a vital role in your opinion or your judgment when you give a review is the reasons that you are showing and the evidence that you are showing to the audience who is reading your review or seeing your review on YouTube. The only requirement, however, is that in a review, our opinions or judgment should be supported by reasons and evidence. That's what I just told you. In the second point, writing reviews, therefore, is a useful exercise to hone several skills. Now, you might have a doubt. Why am I studying about reviews? I'm not a reviewer. Neither I do make any videos for YouTube and get paid. I'm a normal student. What I have to do with these reviews? Well, let me tell you, if you are a reviewing expert, you can hone several skills. What are those skills? Like reading or watching. You can understand different vocabularies. You can understand how a person talks and how differently he analyzes. And your comprehension will improve, and your analysis, your communication and critical thinking also improves on a vast scale. So please don't you tell me that writing reviews will not benefit you. Let me tell you, any day this comprehension skills and this communication skill and critical thinking will help you in getting the job that you want to get. So please don't you take this session of writing reviews as a normal session. Please enjoy this session. At the same time, take it seriously that how important review writing is in your life. The last point says, in this unit we learn how to write film and book reviews and vocabulary that is useful to write them. So please make sure that you are really concentrating so that you can hone all the skills that I have mentioned about, so that you can crack that interview and get that offer letter. As I already told you, today's unit, which is unit 9, is about reviews and review writing, film review and book review. Today's session is all about in-depth analysis and discussion, explanation about film review. Writing about films can take two forms. What are those two forms? First, film reviews and film analysis. Just now, earlier I told how information, analysis, description, evaluation and advice plays a major role in giving your review. Now we are exclusively looking into film reviews, how to use all these aspects and give a very best review as far as you are concerned. Now, the difference between film reviews and film analysis. Writing about films can take two forms. Just now I have informed you. Film reviews and film analysis. What is a film review? Generally, you know it as movie reviews, where the journalist reviews are written for general audience and they are published in newspapers and magazines, etc. There are also film magazines. So I think most of you have read reviews which are written by journalists, which are written for the newspapers. What is a film analysis then? Is there any difference? Yes, there is a major difference. Film analysis, on the other hand, is the work of film studies, scholars, conversant with film theory who write for a specific readership in the academic journals. You can say this is an in-depth analysis of a film and the way filmmaking works. And here it's a small review in a small column, whereas this film analysis can be a book about filmmaking. So now you can know the difference. Now, a good film has same feature of any standard review. So a film review has basic standard format which we will be learning in the next few minutes. But as of now, we have to be very careful that the difference between film reviews and film analysis, and how this film review of yours should inform, describe, analyze, evaluate, and advise. These are the basic elements required for reviewing a film. A good film review has all these features. Now, in order to inform someone, in order to describe it, in order to analyze it, in order to evaluate it, and then advise those people who are listening or reading your reviews, needs some basic elements. What are these basic elements? These basic elements are the elements of filmmaking. You should be familiar with some vocabulary related to filmmaking. Why? It gives the reader assessment of the view worthiness of the film without giving away too much of its plot. Now let me tell you, who is interested to watch a movie where he knows everything about the movie? No one is interested. I've seen some people who doesn't even read reviews. They first want to go and watch that film without reading the review so that they enjoy that film on their own analysis, on their own expertise. But there are some people who just read the review, then go to a movie because they want to see what is the reviewer's opinion. So what is this? What is it that I want to convey to you? All I want to convey is this, my dear friends. A film review don't tell about the whole story. It just tells little bit about the story. And it tells about different other aspects. And if you want to know what are the different other aspects, you need to know what are these elements of filmmaking. Let me tell you these elements. The first bullet point is saying plot, subplot, characters, narration. These are the main basic vocabulary required for filmmaking. Second point says the direction, screenplay, music, cinematography, choreography, editing, lyrics, playback, set design, costume design, and so on. Well, that's a very big list. And last but not the least, we need to be very familiar with what kind of film it is. Is it a comedy film? Is it a tragedy film? Is it a melodrama? Is it a fantasy or a rom-com, and so on? I know many people are interested in writing. I know many people who are poets or short story writers. So, in review also there is a particular writing process. What is that writing process? Let us see. We have 5 steps in order to write a film review. This is the basic format. This is the basic structure to write a film review. Step 1. Understand the genre to which the film belongs. Knowing the feature of the genre helps us assess the success or failure of the film. according to the criteria relevant to the genre. For instance, we cannot find fault with a fantasy film for not being realistic, nor can we complain about sentimentality in a melodrama. I know many people who like fantasy movies because in real life it doesn't happen. Even today, people like stories like Snow White, Cinderella, and many more fantasy movies. And please, some people also complain about a sentimentality in a melodrama. Hello, it's a melodrama, so there would be drama in it. Step 2. Understand the purpose of a review. Film review is not merely a narration of story for the plot of the film. Well, please remember this. Earlier also I told you, film review is not telling only the story. It is also a different situation where you are analyzing the different vocabulary that you have learned, like directing, cinematography, music, choreography. All these aspects should also be reviewed. So it is entirely an expression of the reviewer's own opinion. The primary purpose of a film review is to help the reader arrive a fairly accurate estimate of the film's nature, quality, and sustainability. Nowadays, as I told you, many people see a film review and go and watch a movie. Why? Maybe they want to save the money instead of watching a bad film. So, as a reviewer, you need to be very careful that you are reviewing correctly. A good film review, therefore, should strike a balance between information, interference, and interpretation. Well, you should give information, but not the whole information. You should not interfere with the audience. You just give them your view. Let them go and see, but you should not be a interference by giving a bad review so that a particular audience will not go to a particular movie. And your interpretations should be such a way it should be unbiased. I hope you understood it. Step 3. Understand the structure of a film review. All the reviewers bring their own character to the reviews they write. Most film reviews follow a fairly well-defined structure, which we are already learning. So please, no need to copy anyone. No need to copy anyone's style. You are unique in your own. You have a bundle of talent. So have your own talented tips used in your review and in your reviewing style so that you would be a unique reviewer. Step 4. Understand the target audience. Know who you are writing. Well, this is very, very important. Today's generation, you are well aware of different situations. Nowadays, everything is categorized. Everything has a particular ambience. For example, there is a separate set of games only for youth. There is a separate set of games for people who are adult. And let me tell you, no old people play any games. I'm so sure about it. So what does this say? What does this convey? You have a particular set of audience. So make sure whom you are referring, whom you are reviewing, and to whom is this review going to. Who is reading your review is of utmost importance. Depending on the target reader, the review can be written in a formal or informal style using vocabulary that is appropriate to a group. For example, you are writing a review for young generation. You can use emojis, you can use the millennial words, you can use the more technological words. But whereas if you are writing a review for a middle-aged people from 40 years to 60 years, you need to be careful not to use that many words which are not particularly very famous among these elderly people. So now that you have an idea, make sure who is your target audience. Step 5. Understand the medium. What is this medium? Well, let me tell you, your medium is now a very widespread medium. In earlier days, the reviews were only limited to a magazine or a newspaper. But nowadays, the medium has spread to electronic media and the cyberspace. So each medium has its own style and requirements, and therefore we have to customize our writing according to the medium. What may work in newspaper and magazines may not work in the electronic media or at the cyberspace. So make sure what medium you are writing, you have an understanding of it so that your review is apt and accurate. Hey, look at this colorful slide which is in front of you. Now that we have known what is the writing process of a film review, this is the structure of a film review. This is where you have to be very careful. Now you can see that there are 5 parts in this structure of a film review. Well, let us go and have an in-depth analysis of this structure. The first point says there should be a title and a headline. Now what do you see in this picture? You can see a picture of Microsoft Word. It's the logo. So when you see it, you immediately remember, hey, the company's name or the title name of that company is Microsoft. And what does the headline says? It's Microsoft Word, one of the features of Microsoft Office. So a title and a headline is very important to easily recognize. Next, subhead or deck. Please don't be confused. What is a deck? Let me tell you, it is a synonym for subheading. Now, you see here it says, lead your readers with smart subheads. So your subheading should be very smart, like your smartphones. And you should keep those subheadings which are very attractive so that the reader or the viewer who's watching your review will be attracted to come and read that review or watch that review. Girls, don't think it is very tough. Remember the times when you were first handling the smartphones. It was very tough. Now you handle this smartphone like a piece of cake. The third point here is introduction. Well, for any person, introduction is very, very important and vital. I'm sure all are familiar with this proverb, which is very famous. The first impression is the best impression. So introduction of your film review gives the best impression to the person who is reading it. And next, the fourth point is analysis analyzing, you are analyzing in depth about the whole film, and you are giving the reviewer what works, what does not work, why he should watch that film, why he should not watch that film. So here the analysis of your thinking and your whole understanding of that movie is written in this analysis part. And last, conclusion. And the conclusion should be the best conclusion, because the whole information what you have told in the headline, subheading, introduction and analysis, you are writing in a 2 sentence and informing everything in that 2 sentences. So conclusion is so important in the structure of film review. So please, as the slide is so colorful, I want your review to be so colorful so that the reviewer or the person who is watching it would enjoy your review. Let us go in detail. Although there is no fixed format of a film review, the following structure would be useful. Let us go in detail to the side headings we have seen just now. Title, headline. The title of the review should be short, catchy, and it may suggest the reviewer's assessment of the film. You know, the title is very, very important, because if you are writing a review, whether in newspapers or on a YouTube or any electronic media, the main aspect that will pull the audience is the title of your review. He has given an example, and it says the title should be short, catchy, and it should attract the audience who are reading your review. The example says like this: tube light fails to light up. Tiger roars again. The next point is subhead or deck. This is a summary line that highlights the most noteworthy or interesting features of the film. The subheading is written just below the headline and above the body of the review, and is typographically distinct from the rest of the review. Well, you can just remember in your letter, just after the salutation in your formal letters and before writing of the body of the letter, there is a subheading. It's the same thing over here. This subheading will create an interest in the reader to read your review. Again, an example is here: a watchable routine drama with a share of moments. So it's telling it's a routine thing. Or another example is telling a predictable storyline embellished with hilarious dialogues. Continuing the structure of the film review, the next point is introduction. The first paragraph is also known as the lead paragraph, and it is most crucial one. Why? Because it sets the tone for the rest of the review and makes the reader want to read it further. Imagine your introduction is not so nice, he will leave the review in the middle itself. How many times you have not read the review half the way and left? How many times you were watching some YouTube videos and just left in the middle? Why? They were not interesting. So make sure that your introduction pulls the audience to read further. Second point, under introduction, it gives the reader an overview of the film and also conveys the reviewer's words for overall assessment of the film. The overview may also include background information about the film, content, criteria used for evaluation. Here you are telling an in-depth about filmmaking, how the plot is, how the characters acted, how the music is, and how well the movie overall is in all the departments of filmmaking. The next point in the structure of filmmaking is analysis. The second paragraph should give the outline of the story. Subsequent paragraphs make an evaluation of film in detail. Here you are going in detail of the assessment of the plot. What is the story about? And you will comment on the lead role. What did the hero or the heroine or the characters, side actors, and the screenplay and the music and the lyrics and the dialogues and the cinematography, which played a vital role in making this film a viewable one or making this film not to view at all. So here is an in-depth analysis in your second paragraph. Reviews may also cite specific example in support of their assessment. So when you are reviewing this in detail, you can use some things like this in your sentences. You can say a poignant scene, a melodious song, a lurid dialogue. That means not a nice dialogue, maybe a vulgar dialogue or a cheap dialogue. You can say like that. And conclusion. This is a very important aspect of film review. The conclusion will consist of two parts: a summary of the reviewer's assessment and their advisory. So he is reviewing in short about the whole thing in one line or two line. That's it. And he is also giving an advisory in one line or two lines. So it can be like this. Here is an example which are in brackets. A must-watch movie. He may say like this. And if the movie is not nice, he will say ignore it. And if the movie is okay, he will say okay, watchable movie. So these are some important aspects in the structure of film review. Please don't you take this session lightly, because you can score most of the marks in your annual exam if you have this structure written properly from the starting first step till the last step, which is title, headline, subhead, deck, introduction, analysis, and conclusion. In our next session, we will continue to learn how to write a book review. Meanwhile, check the sample review given in your textbook as an example. It's on page number 163. I hope you will definitely look into that review and you would enjoy reading that review, and you will enjoy writing your answer so that you will get your full marks. I know you will do it. So have a nice time ahead. Thank you.